in so many of these games, and it happens every night in the league, a team gets up big, especially with the threes increase, and the other team kind of cuts into it. How do you mentally try to keep a team focused so there isn't slippage in a situation like that?
Just keep executing, get timely stops, keep executing, and that's what we did down the stretch.
A couple of those plays, Rui ends up with the ball in the corner. That was from you. There was a swing. I think you get to Austin before D'Lo's three. Is that just simple execution? You're waiting for the double to come. Can you take us through those scenarios?
You know, we have the ability to have 5 threats on the floor at one time, and you know, if the defense shifts, then we make the extra pass, and that was a byproduct of that. I was able to hit Rui the first one on the three, then D'Lo was able to hit him, and then I was able to drive, kick the AR on the baseline pass, swing to D'Lo. That's all execution.
Well, you said that every season kind of its own story. Like, you know, you turn the page from the year before. So that said, like, how important was it the last 2 days? How this team responds to put itself in its best position to win after those 2 losses in a row?
Yeah, I mean, we got an opportunity to get on the floor, get some practice in, really dive in on the film, see the things that we were not doing well in those 2 games, the regression that we had, and you know, today we took 2 steps forward, so that's a good sign for our ball club.
You spent some time with Kamala Harris and with Team USA over the summer. What about that time made an impression on you, and why did you choose yesterday as the time to make an endorsement?
Well, I was going to do it the day of the game in Cleveland, but I didn't want it to overshadow, you know, the whole hoopla of me and Bronny going back home. That's when I planned on doing it. So I figured yesterday would be a good day. Everything was kind of silent, and I wanted to make sure that it's seen and heard with a force. So, you know, having a daughter, having a wife, having a mother, you know, and things of that nature, what she believes in when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to the future, you know, with my kids and where I see our country should be. You know, I feel like that endorsement is only right, and it is. I mean, come on, I mean, you guys know me. I damn sure won't go the other way.
What did your experience in 2020 with More Than a Vote teach you about politics, show you about politics, show you about the impacts you can have in a very specific way?
Well, I mean, it all started with, you know, the shut up and dribble, you know, thing, obviously. And to be able to be in a position where you can have some influence, and you have a lot of people who, you know, who just want to be in a position to have influence as well, to be able to speak outside of their realm, if it was sports or if it was, you know, music or movies or whatever it is, whatever the industry is, to be able to have a platform where, you know, I was able to gather, you know, a lot of men and women to be able to speak out from that moment, and then, you know, the More Than a Vote campaign, obviously, an initiative. Was great, and I'm even grateful now that it's still going. I got some beautiful ladies that's you know, holding that down right now. Mecca Gumake is a really good dear friend, and you know, she's picked a great lineup of great people to be able to continue that, because we know how important it is. So it was you know, very humbled to be able to have that, like you said, that year, and have it to be able to continue to go now.
Coach Reddick said pregame that the Lakers were going to stay in Toronto an extra day to see Vince Carter's jersey retirement ceremony. What do you think of you know, Carter being honored by the Raptors, the first player in team history to have his jersey retired?
Congratulations to Vince Sanity, rightfully so. It makes all the sense in the world, what he's done for this franchise, the impact he had in his community, the way he changed how basketball is looked at in Canada itself, and obviously in Toronto, well deserved.
What did your memories of Vince in a Raptors uniform?
Some of my memories.
Anything stand out?
I mean, he has so many. I mean, obviously the 50-point game versus Sixers in the postseason, the rookie windmill, two-hand windmill backwards dunk versus Indiana on Chris Mullins, went around Chris Mullins, and Rick Smith trapped the box. I mean, to me, the lob in preseason down at the University of North Carolina when he got that windmill. I mean, there's There's a ton. There's too many to name, obviously, and obviously the dunk contest. When he shut down the dunk contest and gave you the it's over signal, so he has a lot.
Last question.
LeBron, are you aware? I mean, the Raptors had a number of rookies on the floor against you at various times, and are you kind of aware of some maybe the impact you have when some of these guys are playing you the first time that they're growing up watching you? Does it work to your advantage a little bit?
Not in the moment, because the only thing I'm worried about is how I can make the right decision, the right play in that possession. So no, in the moment I'm not. I've always just played the game of how the game, what's in front of me, and not try to get caught up in, if I was an inspiration to somebody, unless it's like talked about before the game. I remember the what's the kid in Memphis? Gigi Jackson, yeah. So when Gigi did that interview last year before we played them, there were moments on the court, and a speedy recovery to him too. I hate that he's not playing right now. Big fan of his, but there was a couple times on the court that I was like, okay, yeah.
Some of these kids play with Bronny.
No, of course, Jacoby Wall. Yeah, he's the same class as Bronny. So I knew that for sure. I watched him at Baylor, obviously, and so, and I watch all levels of basketball, so I know a lot.